Can't wait until I can get my setup so I can just start shooting these videos and putting them out edited and all stuff like that. That's what I really can't wait for. But what up? It's your boy King 89, and we're here with another episode of the 89 Cast. And today we talking. We talking. It's a fight now. It's war. They declaring war. It's a fight. Indies, independent artists, up and coming artists. If you are making music for the hopes of signing to a label and becoming a big pop star and all stuff like that, this isn't for you. This is for the artists that kind of want to just make music because they love making music. They want to make a small living. Not even, I won't even say small, make a living off of making music, doing shows, have their community, and live off of that. This is for y'all. Because now they're trying to take y'all out. They're trying to take us out. They're trying to come after us. Take food off the table. Make it harder for you to build that community unless you are with them. Unless you are up with them. You understand what I'm saying? So this starts, let's shout out to the Mizza. This starts with this one. First, we're going to talk about the side artists. We're going to talk about what's going on with oh shit, I fucked up. What's going on with how they are trying to take down doing features or making it harder for you to do features, right? Trying to make it harder for you to make money or build your community by working with certain artists. There was a certain time I remember, it's kind of slowed down within the last maybe 15 to 18 months, but there was a time like in the 2020s to like maybe 2023 where you would get artists that may have like a little buzz somewhere, but they ain't really like popping. And then you'll get some of the major label artists that are like, hey, I got a sale on features. I got a sale on whatever. If you're an independent artist, you up and coming artist, and you got the bag, just send it over to me. We could do something together. We could work. I help you out. Like there was a lot of, the big established artists reaching down, not all of them, but some of them, when they got their popularity, they were reaching down to some more upcoming independent artists. They won't even charge them a big amount. You're not signed to a label, so I'll do it for $2,000, $3,000, whatever like that. I feel like this is an attack towards that, but it's also an attack towards other things. But reaching down like a Dirk or a Lil Baby or a ESTG or whatever like that. Hey, $3,000, I'll do a verse for you. Now, from what I'm looking at, it looks like you can't just do that. You can't just, I'm going to hop in your DMs, I'm going to send you an email. I got $3,000. I need you on this song. No contract needed. Boom, boom, boom. I give you $3,000. You on the song, put the song out. Boom. We build a community. We got a fan base, whatever. Maybe a little extra for you to promote the song and that type of shit. Now it looks like ain't no more of that. You have to show through your distributor or whatever that there is some type of contract, some type of paperwork that this feature has been approved and this and that. But I'm gonna read it. Shout out to the Mizza. Everything that I'm gonna talk about in this episode is shout out to the Mizza. Everything I'm putting on this episode, the Mizza kind of reported it and it's just interesting to me. So this is he posted this. It says they gonna want contracts for side artists. So I'm thinking when he says side artists, he's speaking of artists that do a little extra work on the side, minus my label singles versus take away my albums under the label. I'm doing a little work on the side to make some side money. So some artists, to make their own money, they'll do features and they'll do tours and do shows. Now it looks like they're trying to take out that ability to do shows without them getting a cut of it, without it being approved and all stuff like that. So this is what the Mizza posted. I'm gonna read this. Among other things, major music services have informed us that even if a non-exclusive feature license is secured, it will not result in the release showing up on the featured artist's profile. So from major music services, that'll be a Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, whatever that. So it's saying that even if I get a feature, say even if I get a Lil Durk feature, and I credit Lil Durk as being featured on there, without proper paperwork, they're not going to put it on that artist's profile to kind of help with promotion, kind of help with you getting your eyes on that thing. They're not going to even try to help you get a little attention for getting a big feature from somebody. You understand what I'm saying? It says, additionally, for Apple Music specifically, we will be required to credit the artist in the sampled artist role rather than the feature artist role in order to adhere to their guidelines. And we always advise artists to carefully research any third-party companies they work with if you have secure permission directly. Okay, so it's only one slide. So they're trying to make it so they're saying putting them in sampled artists. So what I'm thinking is that this has become a problem due to AI. That's what I'm thinking this is. I'm thinking this is a result of AI where certain artists would like say that they would take say I'm a rapper. Well, I am a rapper, but say I don't have a Lil Durk feature, but I decide I have AI that can sound like Lil Durk. I do the verse, I make his voice do whatever, and I put it on there. And now I'm saying King featuring Lil Durk on the song. You understand what I'm saying? Even though it's not really him, but I got the AI to make it sound like him. They're saying we're not going, and this was a thing that I talked about last year. I have a video last year. I think I put it on TikTok. I might have put it on YouTube, but I put out a video last year where I was saying I'm subscribed to Future on my YouTube Music. I'm subscribed to Future on YouTube. I see when Future drops something. For some reason, it was a Japanese song. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a Japanese song, and the name of the artist was Future. So it would pop up and be shown to people that are subscribed to the rapper Future as if it was the rapper Future's new song when it was a whole nother person. And I was like, this is weird. This is an issue. Seeing the same thing with Young Boy and Lil Durk and multiple, I think even Young Thug, where they will make their own versions of somebody's song and just say, this is a Lil Durk song, this is a Young Thug song, this is a Future song, this is that. And it will show up to people that are subscribed or that are following that artist, even though it's not really that artist. And I was like, this is weird, and this may be a problem. And I think that's what this is trying to address. But at the same time, I feel like it's also cutting the legs off of certain people that may legitimately have this feature, that they have to go through these wormholes and do all these technicalities to be able to do what they may want to do. And it's basically saying too, you need a contract. Hold, let me see if I can find that one. Let me find that one. Where it's basically saying, show us, we need a contract that states that you and this artist are legit working together. I'm about to pull that up right now. Also something from Demiza, but it's really an attack. I think they're trying to quote unquote attack the AI problem that they created. First of all, they created the AI problem, but now they're trying to attack the AI problem by saying we're not going to list this person as a feature because some people are misusing the feature, the benefits of a feature, of where if I put this artist's name on there, then my song can pop up and show to their fans, and that can help my music gain more traction and whatever like that. So I think that's what their attempt is, but I think they also are aware that this can stop regular business from being conducted because of what they're trying to do. All right, so this one is an example, I guess, of somebody that was trying to get a featured artist something done, and it was declined. Also by Demiza. Shout out to Demiza. Follow Demiza on Instagram. He gives all updates for music and just different things. Your release was flagged during our review due to the high profile nature of the artist blank. So already it's saying because the person that's on your song is a high profile artist, we flagged it because we don't know if that's really them. Like I said, I think this is the product of people using AI versions of certain popular artists and putting them on their songs, even though it's not really them. And I think that's why we kind of caused this, but at the same time, it can cause some issues. It further says, we must confirm that you are asserting 100% distribution rights to this content before we submit it to stores, for which we would need documental proof. If you are asserting rights to distribute this track, please reply to this email with an appropriate signed documentation and copies of your recording contracts between you and this artist for our legal team to review. So they want to now see the contracts of you, between you and the artist you have featured, especially if it's a high profile artist, like I said, there was a time where a Lil Durk, a Lil Baby, even the Baby, certain artists with a name, if you got the bag, they will do a feature. Rich Homie Quan even did that. R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan. Even if you're not a big artist or you got a little traction, if I'm fucking with your music, whatever like that, hey, if you got the money, I'll charge the labels $20,000 for a feature. But you're an independent artist, you on your grind, I'll do it for $2,000. Give me $2,000. You now have to show documented proof. You have to get a contract signed between you and the high profile artist to say, yes, I am giving 100% distribution rights to this artist. This is their song. I am just a feature. Allow this to be released. That's what they're looking for. Additionally, please note that the same artist can only be listed as a featuring artist and not primary artist. Once we review the documents you send, we'll unfinalize the release so that you can make changes to the crediting. So what this means is if they're not a primary artist, it won't show up on their profile as a song for them. As a featured artist, like maybe like is it Spotify? One of them have like a featured on section where it tells you this person was featured on this song, this song, this song, this song. But when they're listed as a primary artist, so if it's a song with me and Palm Tree Stoney, for example, and I list me as a primary artist and him as a primary artist, the song will pop up on both of our profiles. What this is saying is that even if your document shows that you are approved for this, they can't be listed as a primary artist. We will not put this song on their profile. It will only be on your profile, but it will be under them as a featured song. So like I said, this is making it a lot harder for people that are trying to do legitimate business and maybe having some of the biggest opportunities in their independent or up and coming artist career. This is knocking the leg from under them. Like, yeah, you may have got this the Baby feature, but we need a contract that says that the Baby really want to be on this song. Even if you paid your $3,000 or $5,000 or whatever he charged you for your feature, you paid that. That's all you need. Paperwork. Y'all done talked it out. Screenshots ain't enough. They need documented proof. They need a contract. So now you got to go up to this high profile artist that you were lucky to get in contact with and say, hey man, I need a contract drawn up. You might need to reach out to a lawyer, or you may need a manager to put something up. Like, you're adding extra steps for something that used to be able to be done like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is the and like I said, I think this is a product of people misusing AI to get clout. First of all, and I said it a long time ago, something was going to get done about this. I didn't predict that they was going to start making it harder for you to list features and get features from high profile artists, but something had to be done about it. So I do think that it's a little bit of our fault. Not our, because I didn't do it, but it's a little bit of those artists' fault that would, instead of putting in some work, leaning on their own talents, they would just mimic of their favorite rapper voice and then throw AI on it and then say, yeah, I got a Lil Baby feature. Yeah, I got a Young Boy feature. Yeah, I got a Young Thug feature. And try and you list them as primary artists, so now their song pops up on that artist's profile. You messed up the system. You misused the system, and now artists that are trying to do legitimate business, trying to put in legitimate work, now have to go through loopholes to get their legitimate shit done. So I do think it's a product of that, but it's also a product of these labels, these DSPs, these the DSPs, the DSPs, which is Spotify, Apple, them, the distributors are all basically branches of the major labels now. So now the major labels want a cut of everything. They want approval of everything. They want to make sure they want to basically put their foots on the next independent artist, especially through distributors, because they see Spotify just put a report, which I don't believe report, but they were saying a good amount of their money was going to independent artists. Independent artists made all this money, and we did this. They're trying to clean up their lies. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to clean up their lies, but now they're trying to put their foot on the neck of these independent artists that are making a living and not trying to sign to labels. This goes into Jermaine Dupri's what's the point of being independent if you want everything that the major labels are doing? First of all, not all independents want everything the major labels do. If there's an independent artist that wants to have the same access that the major labels do, they're probably just unsigned artists. There's a difference between an unsigned artist and an independent artist. Independent artists, we don't want to be on Jimmy Fallon. We don't want to be on Coachella. We don't want to do Rolling Loud. We just want to make our music, give it to our fans, make our money legitimately, not our 0.003 or a fraction of 0.003, We want to make $1 for every song, or $5 or whatever we want to charge for our music, our art, because we own the copyrights. When you create something, you automatically, in America, automatically own the copyrights to anything you've created. So if you make a song, you make the beat, you write the lyrics, you automatically own that song. So you're willingly, that's what we've been doing for years. We've willingly given up something we own 100% of in exchange for a quarter of a penny. Some people don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Some people don't want to do that. If you want to do that, that's okay. And I'm not downplaying anybody that wants to do that. But there are some people that don't want to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So to Jermaine Dupri's point of, oh, what's the point of this and that? And y'all want the same thing. So these labels are trying to target the people that want what the labels are offering, and they're starting to realize not that many people want what we're offering. So we gotta cut off these access. We gotta cut off that these people are making thousands of dollars off of streaming and all stuff like that, making all this money off of music, and we can't get a piece of it. We gotta cut that off, so it incentivizes them more. Hey, if you want to get paid a good amount for your music now, because we've done everything we could to cut off all your sources of income through your DSP or whatever like that, you have to you have to get with us. And it's not even the DSPs that they're targeting. Because we had some artists, some successful artists that'll drop a project or drop an album, and it makes enough sales, whether it's through iTunes or through their own store, and they've done the ISRCs, the UPCs, and it's been able to chart and get them plaques on billboards. Now they're trying to make it hard for even independent artists to be able to chart on billboards and for their sales to count on billboards without certain data. This is also by the midst of Billboard rule change effective immediately. Physical D2C shipment. So if you're selling vinyls, if you're selling CDs, maybe even you're selling flash drives, which fall outside of established sales trends, somehow the entire industry was built off the back of selling physical copies. Now, since we've transitioned over to streaming, selling physical copies now all of a sudden fall outside of established sales trends. But guess what? Selling my t-shirt with my digital download, or selling my t-shirt, or selling a can of energy drink with my digital download doesn't seem to fall into established sales trends. They still count merch bundles for certain artists on Billboard. But if you're an independent artist and you selling direct to consumer, we ain't counting that shit unless you give us a enhanced tracking status with other info such as geolocation data and if a VPN was used to make the purchase. So not only do we want to know how much you're shipping, we want to know who shipped, where it got shipped to, who shipped it, how they shipped it. They want all the data on your direct-to-consumer store if you want to be counted on Billboard. The thing is, all independent artists don't want to be counted on Billboard. They want to make it hard. They want to make it hard for you to get featured. They want to make it hard for you to chart, because now if it's harder for you to chart, for those people that want to chart so bad, that quote unquote want the same things the major labels are giving, now you got to play the game. You either got to give us all this data information, tracking status and all that, report that to Billboard, or we just not counting your shit. So you could sell 100,000 physical copies as an independent artist. We're not going to report that you sold 100,000 records. Why? Because we don't know if that's true. You didn't send us the geolocation and the VPNs and all that stuff like that. And I think this is a product of, like I said, everything that's legitimate, everything that has like a legitimacy to it also has a scam version of it. So I do believe that this is a product of some people inflating their sales numbers, inflating their physical copy sales, buying their own physical copies, and gaming the system to make their sales look bigger. There was, I think, rumors about French Montana was trying to sell one of his projects on, I don't know if it was French Montana, it was somebody trying to sell their physical copies of their project, and people would buy them, but it would get shipped to random places. It wasn't getting shipped to the people that bought them. So they were still counting them as physical sales, even if the people didn't actually get the albums or the projects or the vinyls that they bought. And I think that is what this is supposed to address. But I think it's also we're cutting the leg from under you. We're not counting your sales if you don't give us all this information. So even if you're an independent artist and you got a good fan base that can get you to get on the charts, we're not counting if you don't give us all your metadata on your music. It's a wild word, and that's how I say it's always a few bunch that can fuck it up for everybody. And that's what these two examples of these two situational examples of the people that want to always take the easy way out, the people that always want to scam the system, play and scam the game, that will fuck it up for everybody else. The people that were taking famous artists, taking Drake's voice or taking The Weeknd's voice, making a song, mimicking them, putting their voice through the AI and saying, yeah, I got a song featuring Drake so they can get more streams and get more attention and get more clout. That, and the people that were manipulating the merch bundles and manipulating the sales and people were buying projects but not getting projects because they were just shipping it all over the place and this and that. These examples, these forms of scams, these forms of trying to game the system to make your numbers look higher, they're being done to address, because these are things that are being done by major label people. Some of this is major label people, some of it's independent people, but like the shipping and how I ordered this album and it got shipped all the way to California and they're still counting it as a sale even though I didn't get what I bought. Like these things like this are being done by major label acts. But guess what? It's going to affect independent artists the most. Because if like I said, if you sell, because they got people that's charting doing 20,000 first week or whatever like that. So if you got an audience of 50,000 people, you selling physical copies and all 50,000 buy your album, you can report it. I sold 50,000 first week as an independent act, but oh, you didn't report your geolocation, you didn't report whether it was on a VPN, you didn't report this, you didn't report that, so we're not counting none of your sales on Billboard. So you can't chart. So it's like, even though they're trying to address some things that maybe some of the scams that the major label artists are doing, it's affecting the independent artists the most. And that's why I titled this, The Time Is Now. The time is now to separate yourselves from these entities that ain't here to really benefit you, but only to pad their pockets. We've got Billboard that basically is a major label in itself. You understand what I'm saying? We got they're selling chart placements. They're selling, you know what I'm saying? They're selling chart placements to the labels. Labels are buying chart placements. You got these DSPs that are being bought by companies that were bought by major labels. So now they're a part of the system. You got the Spotifys and the Apples, especially Spotify, that 17% of it is owned by major labels. You can't escape it now. You can't be independent while depending on these platforms. You understand what I'm saying? You can't be independent while depending on Spotify, while depending on DistroKid, while depending on TuneCore. The time is now. The time is now to get your Shopify, get your what's the other one? Squarespace or whatever platform you need to create your own website, your own platform, your own store. Build your community and start getting it out the mud that way. Selling it out the trunk virtually. You understand what I'm saying? The time is now. Because if you who cares if you're on Billboard? If you sold 50,000 copies of your project for however much you sold it for, $5, say you sold your project for $5 and you sold 50,000 copies, you don't have to report that to Billboard. Who cares? You know, I just made $250,000 off my last project independently. Billboard don't have to know that. RIAA, we don't need RIAA. I get it. Some people want the platinum plaques, the gold plaques, and this and that. But isn't the money enough? Sometimes the money is enough for independent artists. I don't care about gold plaque. You can buy your own plaque. You can buy your own plaque. So if you want to celebrate, hey, I just sold 50,000 physical copies of my project. Fuck Billboard. Fuck RIAA. I'm about to go buy me a plaque and put it up saying I sold 50,000 copies. This is all I need. You understand what I'm saying? The time is now to find your platform, build your community. Even if it takes forever. I'm starting my journey. I started my journey last year and I'm continuing my journey. I'm going to build it. People, it may be hard for some people that used to listen to me on Spotify, listen to me on YouTube Music, and they're like, oh, we can't find your new music now. It may be hard at the beginning, but eventually they're going to get used to realizing, yeah, if I want to listen to some new King A9, I got to go to the website. If you really want to get it, that's what you got to do. Eventually, you're going to get used to it. Eventually, you're going to be like, man, we need some new heat. Oh, the new heat's out. You just got to come over here. You understand what I'm saying? And then my plan was all my solo projects where I'm producing it myself and doing the engineering and it's all me. I'm putting on my website, and then if I'm collaborating with somebody, I was gonna put it on DSP. So I got a few projects in mind that I'm like, okay, let me put this on DSPs because I want to make it easier on that other person that wants to share it and maybe want to listen to it on those platforms that don't want to have to keep going to my website or sending people to my website. Even though that would be nice, it would be nice for y'all to just promote my website, but to get that and promote it to their audience. So I was like, okay, if I do some collaborative work, I'll put it on DSPs. But with these new rules that they have in place, it may be even harder for me to put a collaborative project out on DSPs than it would be to just put it up on my website. But I'll see once I get to that point, which I should be working on the project. Well, everything's already recorded. I just need to mix and master and all stuff like that. But I'm shooting for dropping a collaborative project with Nola Boy Beats in April. So I'll see when I'm ready to submit if I gotta jump through any loopholes to get the project up. If I do, you know what I'm saying, we'll have to see what it is. But these things are just are further making it harder for you to make that money if you don't have your own website. We had all these videos and all these things like, oh, all you have to do is keep putting out content on TikTok and make sure that you're promoting and pushing your Spotify. You make sure that you're doing this and that. Make sure you're pitching a playlist and doing this and that. And then you'll build your audience and this and that. Now is the time where those things don't work no more. Those things don't matter because guess what? You can do all that. And guess what? If Spotify wants to, they can say, nope, artificial streaming. We're not paying. They still have control. You're not independent. You're still dependent on Spotify. Understand what I'm saying? So the time is now. If you're an independent artist, if you're a rapper, if you're a singer, if you're just a regular musician, if you do the flute, whatever like that, build your community, inform your community. Hey, we over here now. I know it may be harder for some of y'all. Y'all may not want to buy a digital download, or y'all may not want to buy a physical or a vinyl or whatever like that. But if y'all really support me, if y'all want me to eat and be paid properly for this music that y'all claim that y'all love that I make, you gotta come over here. You understand what I'm saying? Because Spotify ain't it no more. Apple Music ain't it no more. Even though I tell people, because I always talk about how much Spotify, you know what I'm saying, what Spotify does and the effects it's having on us. And I've been telling people, I'm like, hey, I had over 250,000 streams last year on Spotify and barely saw a penny from it because of these new rules that they have in place. I made more money off of 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, however much I had streaming on Apple Music. I made more money off of Apple Music than I did with 250,000 streams on Spotify. These are facts. I know my info. I know my metadata. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it should be. That's not how it should be. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Apple Music, but they seem to be a part of the little games too. But that ain't the wave. It is not the wave anymore. You got to start moving towards the future. You can't claim to be a business owner, because a lot of people like to claim to be a business owner. You can't claim I own my own business if your business is a friend. Say you want to claim you're a business owner, but the business that you own is McDonald's. So you're under the system of McDonald's. You have to pay for this and that through McDonald's. So you don't run your own business. You just run a business owned by somebody else. You're betting off of the popularity of McDonald's to make you money. And it's the same with Spotify. It's the same with Apple Music. You can't claim you're an independent artist if you're dependent on the popularity of a Spotify and Apple Music to make you money. You got to build your own business from the ground up, and you got to take that L for a little bit. But eventually that L is going to turn to a W if you put in the work. R-Truth said in an interview I was watching earlier, if you don't go all in, if you half in, then you're not in. You ain't going nowhere. If you don't go all the way in, then you ain't gonna win. So you gotta go all the way in, and I'm ready to go all the way in, because as the time goes by, it's showing you, hey, they don't want you to win. They only want them to win. But that's if I think I might have one more thing to look at. One more thing. Okay, yeah. One more thing, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Another video from the Mizza. This is an audio. We're just gonna listen to what he's saying in here. I don't think I heard this one yet. See what he's saying in here. See what his breakdown is. Comment on that, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But let's see what he's talking about. Play the sound. There we go.
Remember when I was telling you about how
All right, here we go.
Billboard. Well, actually, before I get to the news, do you remember when I was telling you about how data is the business that the record companies are in now? They're not record companies anymore. They're data companies. And what they do is they take your information of where you're at, what your habits are and everything, and then they package that and sell it to advertising companies. Check this out. Physical direct to...
And this is what we were just talking about. They want all your information from your store before they even count anything that's physical. And they're going to sell that information. So because they know if you buy a project from me, I have to report, and I want it to chart on Billboard. I want Billboard to have that information for whatever reason that I would want that. Not only is Billboard going to use that to count my sales, but they're also going to be like, okay, so this person that lives in bumfuck Tennessee that likes this type of music, King A9 makes melodic boom bap music or whatever they say. This person likes this person from this location likes this type of music from this artist. So let's now promote this to this person. Or they like, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're using this for. So not only are they using this to keep track of who's buying your music before they count the sales, but they're going to use all the information from your store to promote other shit to your customer. They want access to your fan base directly. That's what they're asking for. But let's let them keep going.
Which fall outside of established sales trends will require the reporting store to provide enhanced tracking status along with other info such as geolocation data and if a VPN was used to make the purchase. Why do you think they're doing that? Why do they need the data of where you were at? What is data? It's your personal information, your location, your listener habits, what you consume. Now Billboard's getting in that business.
Physical copies, and the physical copies, selling the CD, stuff like that. That was something that started to bubble back up through the underground / independent circuit. So not only are they trying to get information on big artists that sell physical copies, but they're also trying to get information on the people that like to support independent artists, small artists. So now we can promote things to you. Oh, you like this type of music, we're gonna promote that to you. Oh, you like this type of even like these things be listening to us. Let's not lie to ourselves. These things be listening to us. So now they have your location. Now they know, okay, this person seems to be looking for cars now. Let's start promoting the newest Lexus to them, the newest Jeep to them. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is all they're selling these, and like you said, they're selling that information, your own audience's information to these advertisers. So now they know how to promote to you. It's all to make money. And then they're going to, and guess what? Billboard's going to, this is the shit that fucks it up. This is what Spotify is doing, and this is what Billboard is going to do. Billboard is going to take your fan base's information to promote to them. They're going to sell the data of your fan base to advertisers. Advertisers are going to promote to them, and if your fan base decides to purchase based off of being a fan of yours, and you reporting that to Billboard, who's reporting that to the advertiser, to advertise to you, if they make a purchase on behalf of that, you don't get nothing. Think about that. The advertiser would not have gotten access to this fan without your store selling to them. Your store sold to them, and then you reported that data to Billboard, who reported that to advertiser. And the only people that's going to eat out of that is Billboard and the advertisers. So once again, just like Spotify, you drove the traffic to that place. You are the reason why that advertiser made that sale. But you get nothing for it even though you are the reason why the sale was made. They're turning us all into salesmen. They're turning the everyday artist just into virtual salesmen. We're not selling our music anymore. When it comes to these platforms, when it comes to Billboard, when it comes to Spotify, when it comes to Apple, we're not selling music anymore. We're selling advertising through music. That's what we're doing now. Yet we're not getting paid as salesmen. Salesmen get paid commission. We don't get paid commission. We get paid tiny little scraps. Tiny little scraps. We don't get paid commission. A commission per, they might get 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% of whatever the sale is. So if I put out a song and Amazon promotes on my song, and now somebody just spent $200 on the song, $200 in Amazon off of a link that they tapped off of my song, I'm not going to get 20% of that purchase from Amazon. Not going to get 20% of that purchase from Amazon. I'm not going to get a commission check from Amazon. What's 20% of 200? That's what? 50? 50? Is that wrong? 40? It might be 40. Yeah, 40. That's not 40. I don't get $40 on my royalties check because somebody spent $200 on Amazon that advertised on my song. Maybe Spotify gets that $40 or whatever like that, but I don't get nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So we are underpaid salesmen at this point. They're not taking artists seriously. So now it's time for you to take all that information, all that data, all these techniques that you use to promote your Spotify, to promote your Apple Music, to promote the playlist that posted you. Take all that information, take all those techniques, and you have to put it on your store. Even if you don't eat at the beginning, eventually you're going to make way more money than you made off of these platforms, off of reporting your data to Billboard. Billboard's about to make buku money off of basically selling your fan base's information to advertisers, and you're not about to make any more money off of that, other than what your person. So if I drop an album and I sell it for $10, all I get is the $10. All I get is $10 from that person. Meanwhile, I report that data to Billboard, who reports that data to advertisers. Now, that person that spent $10 on me may spend $100 through whatever that advertisement is from Billboard. And I don't get a cut of that $100. You really got to put yourself in a box now. As an artist, as a creator, even content creators. I'm not even just talking about artists. Content creators. You got to find your own platform for content now. Because you're not getting paid fairly either. You can make a lot more. If you really got, imagine if your 100,000 subscribers were able to be converted, even 10% of them were able to be converted to a website, a subscription website, a Patreon. That's why a lot of YouTubers get Patreon. You could create your own Patreon. We have the technology, you have the information. If not, you can hire somebody to build a website for you. You understand what I'm saying? Imagine if 10% of your 100,000 subscribers get exclusive content on your website, $10 a month. 10,000 subscribers. 10,000 of your 100,000 subscribers subscribe to your website where you put exclusive content over there for $10 a month. OnlyFans. Almost like OnlyFans, but it's for your content, whatever your YouTube channel is about. You got that early exclusive content. Early videos that I have coming out next week. You go watch them on my website. Ideas like that. Get early access to them on my website. $10 a month. Imagine if only 10,000 or your 100,000 did that. You're still making $100,000 a month. Guaranteed, because it's a subscription. Now they can unsubscribe and maybe it goes from 10,000 to 7,000, 70,000 a month. That ain't too bad. That's what we have to do as artists. The exact same thing. You have to create your own Patreon for music. It don't have to be exactly like Patreon, but you have to create your own website for Patreon. And like I said, you may start from zero, but everybody starts from zero. Guess what? When I started making music in 2021, I started from zero. I put in the work. Over 1 million streams across all platforms. After I started from zero. I have no issue starting from zero again, especially if I'm going to make way more money starting from zero now than I did when I started from zero before. You understand what I'm saying? But that's it for me. So I want to talk about time is now. The time is now. If you keep trying to hold off and keep on trying to lie to yourself, to believe that these major labels, these DSPs, these distributors are going to eventually get a heart and start doing what's right for you. What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If you think that these distributors, labels have gotten this far, made this much money off of your hard work, and all of a sudden they're gonna be like, I think we're being a little greedy. Let's up that 0.003 to maybe 3 cents. If you in your heart of hearts believe that eventually they're gonna do that, you're sorely mistaken. The time is now. But that's it for me. I'm out. Too sweet. Hold on, let me look at the chat. Let's see what the chat came in. No. We're talking about music. Yeah, we're talking about music. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. How y'all doing? When I was trying to get clips, and this isn't gonna be a part of clips or whatever like that, but when I was trying to get clips of my last A9 cast, spider on your wall behind you. It's not a spider on my wall. When I was trying to get clips for my last one, there were moments where I was talking to the chat while I was trying to get clips. So I was trying. I just hid the chat for a little bit while I got everything I needed off. My name is King Anon. It's on the channel. I don't know why people always come here asking what my name is. My name is on the channel, King Anon. I'm not giving you my personal real name. Hey, what's up? Your hair looks so clean. Appreciate you. Fish Cake Island, appreciate you. Allison Hall, hi. How you doing? I'm gonna stick around for like about 45 minutes. When we get to 45 minutes in there, just see if anybody else pops in. Appreciate you though. I need to let these out. I'm not gonna get a retwist yet, but I'm gonna let these out eventually. Need to get a haircut too. What's up? Your hair looks clean. I saw somebody asking about music. Where did I see that? Can you tell me what your name is, please? I still don't understand why people do that. I saw it somewhere. Where'd it go? We talking about music. Cloudy445. How you doing? Yeah, we just talking about specifically. We talking about specifically how if you want, and I said this at the beginning, if you want to be an independent artist, all these things that are trying to manipulate and move things around so it's harder for you to make a living without getting to the label, you got to find the other option. You understand what I'm saying? You have to find the other option. There's a difference between wanting to be an independent at this point, because I've played the game. I've played that game. At this point, what it feels like is the DSPs, the playlisting, all these things that we're looking at, what at first we were being promoted and pushed to do to make money. It's mainly for unsigned artists to promote themselves and eventually get picked up by major labels. The playlisting, even the bots to make your numbers look good, all that in hindsight. And these were things that I wasn't doing them to get the attention of a label. I was really doing that to build an audience. But I don't think these platforms are for building audiences anymore. I feel like these platforms are only existing to get on the radar of major labels. But if you're an independent artist, you don't care about that. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're an unsigned artist looking to get picked up by a label, looking to play the game, to be the next Drake, the next Michael Jackson, the next Taylor Swift, I feel the DSP game is perfect for you. Go ahead, play that game if you want to be on Spotify and all things like that. Perfect for you because that's really where they're signing people at. They're picking them up. If you're an independent artist and you're going crazy on Spotify, guess what? Now you have labels knocking down your door. Same with TikTok. I feel like all these things are just advertising for the next big thing to pick up. Because that's really what they've been doing is the artist gets popping on their own and then the labels pick them up. They're not going to pick up anybody, a dude in a bar that has a good singing voice. They're looking for you to already have traction and then for them to exploit that traction. So I think, like I said, in hindsight, I'm thinking the Spotify, the Apple Music, these things are just other ways for the labels to keep their eye on you. Okay, he's building a fan base now. Let's now pick them up and sign them. It's the difference between an unsigned artist and an independent artist. I feel like you're not an independent artist for real if you're dependent. notice, dependent on a Spotify, Apple Music. If you're refusing and you're the one coming up with excuses of why, oh, I can't do direct to consumer because of convenience and this and this and this and this and that, you're an unsigned artist. You're not an independent artist. If you're an independent artist, you're going to find any and every avenue to try and keep your creative freedom, make the money you want to make, and not have to worry about it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the road that I'm on. I'm on the road of building an independent artist empire. And with that, there is no Spotify in that plan. There is no Apple Music in that plan. There is no Deezer, Pandora. Shout out my people who listen to me on Pandora. Pandora, even though I don't make the most money off of Pandora, it's consistent. Very consistent. Whoever it is that streams my music on Pandora, shout out to y'all. Y'all have been consistently giving me some money for a long time. Even from the beginning. I don't know who it is who listens to me on Pandora, but shout out to y'all. But yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. Shout out to everybody that hopped into the chat. If you picked up anything informative, of course I'm gonna have clips that I'm gonna be posting up within the next week because I still got other clips from the last episode that I gotta put up. But this one should be a little cleaner because there's not me stopping in the middle of my talking points to address the chat, because that was messing up a lot of my clips that I was trying to put up. Where I was only able to get, because usually I use Opus clips, so usually I'll get like 20 plus clips, and I'll pick the best ones that I like out of those 20. It was a lot harder for me to pick. I think I only was able to get 4 clips out of it, but I was only able to pick a few because a lot of those clips was me like talking, and then in the middle of me talking, having to stop and address something someone is saying in the chat. So that's why I hid the chat for most of this. And then once I was done with the conversation, but I'm gonna try and find a way to divide that. So I might do like, okay, we're gonna do one topic, talk about it, check the chat. Next topic, talk about it, check the chat. I think that's the best way, so I can kind of like have these sections where it's not my points aren't getting interrupted by the chat. You understand what I'm saying? But that's it for me. I'm out. I'm gonna hop on stream real quick. I'm gonna be on stream 2 times. Or I might either 2 times, or I'm gonna just make this a long stream. But I'm gonna hop on, play some WWE 2K25, go through some showcase mode, and then we're going to try and finish Control. I've been playing Control for a minute. Try and finish Control tonight, because I'm at the end. I'm at the very end. Get through that, and then we're gonna the next game I plan on playing is probably some Sims, until I find another game where I'm like, okay, yeah, let me download this game and start streaming that. But I'm gonna probably start streaming Sims for a little bit, because I haven't played Sims in a long time, and I think it's a little fun. It's upbeat. It's enjoyable. Sims has a nice loyal fan base. I can potentially build a nice little audience on my Twitch through the Sims potentially. And I just like playing those Sims games. I be wanting to make my person a millionaire. I'm gonna play as my character until he dies, but we're gonna see how far we can get. I don't think I have kids yet or anything. We'll see. But follow me on Twitch, kxnganonmusic, King A9 on Twitch. Like, share, and subscribe. I always forget to say that. Comment if you're an independent artist, or if you're a rapper, producer, whatever like that. Tell me your thoughts on these current changes and switches that's going on with Billboard and what was the other one? And these DSPs now making it harder for you to get features, and you have to have contractual or some type of document guaranteeing that you have approved this feature is approved and stuff like that. Give me your comments on things like that. Like, share, subscribe. I'll be back next week, talk about something, or I might pop in every now and then. I want to make that a regular thing, somehow putting up some content, whether it's my clip or if there's something that just happens that I want to talk about, hop on live and have a quick chat about it. But that's it for me. I'm out. Too sweet. Deuce.